Rajyotshavam Shaktasya Srivaisaraghavagurosthanayam Tatashcha Vidya Avapya Vibudhottamatam Dadhanam Kurve Sada Hridi Gurum Karunakarakyam Lakshminatha Samarambham Nathayam Namadhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityamachyuta Padambuja Yugma Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trunaya Mene अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये मातापिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखरयोगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकालयतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि. We saw this in the previous lecture about the meaning of the word Jagat Guru, the different meanings. We don't have one meaning, we have multiple meanings for the word. How you take which meaning matters. How Bhagavad Ramanuja was a Jagat Guru. About his divine birth, Adishesha himself descending. We saw about that. I'm not really sure if I mentioned this part, so I will tell this small addition. Nitya Suri is still Anu. As per Vishishtadvaita, only and only Paramatma is omnipresent. In Shankaracharya's Advaita, there is only one Atma. That Atma is only Paramatma. Therefore, it can be called as omnipresent. Because nothing exists other than that Atma. But when we go to Vishishtadvaita, we have jivatma, Paramatma, two types. Among these two types, only Paramatma is omnipresent. Jivatma is not omnipresent. Therefore, there is a question as to whether a jivatma can exist at multiple places at once. And this question is important for us because if we say that Bhagavad Ramanuja, who is Adishesha being a Nitya Suri, who has always been there in Sri Vaikuntha, he descended to the earth as Bhagavad Ramanuja. We must remember that even in the scriptures we see about his previous birth. For example, we see the story of how Garuda, who is also a Nitya Suri, took birth under parentship of Vinata. Correct? So, if Garuda is able to appear on earth multiple times, we also saw that when we looked at the list of Alvars, that each one of them was an incarnation of a Nitya Suri. A question may arise as to whether Nitya Suris really experience Nitya Moksha, because we are saying this is Prakruta Loka. In this universe, you do not have moksha. You get moksha only in Vishnu Loka. But even though they have been in Vishnu Loka forever, once in a while they are coming to this earth. Does that mean that their anubhava decreases? Does it mean that they are not eternally in the state of moksha? How are we to understand this? In Shankaradvaita, there is this concept of Jivana Mukta. We have discussed about it before. Here, we do not have the exact same concept that is there in Advaita. Instead, what we have is a slightly different case. So what we have here is a case of Nitya Suris actually remaining in Sri Vaikuntha itself, their Atma does not travel to earth. They remain in Sri Vaikuntha. And yet, they are able to perform various miracles. This is possible. It is not a big deal for a Nityasuri or even a Muktatma. Let us say a Nityasuri with the Atma itself descends here. Would that be a problem? Let us look at Bhagavan. When Bhagavan himself descends, he comes as Rama, he comes as Krishna. Bhagavan is omnipresent. That means he is present here as well. He was already present here before he arrived as Rama, Krishna, and so on. In spite of being eternally present, Bhagavan was never ever affected by the impurities of this world. When I say impurities of this world, I am referring to Rajoguna and Tamoguna. I am referring to all of those aspects. So Bhagavan is never affected by Rajoguna or Tamoguna. He is not affected by karma, even though he comes to this earth. We are also in this earth. We have Rajoguna and Tamoguna alongside Satvaguna, and we do get bound by karma. We are already bound by karma and continuously get bound as we perform more and more karma. So, no matter how you look at it, the Nityasuri's experience is infinite bliss that does not decrease at all. Therefore, when we look at the story of Bhagavad Ramanuja, and we see how he is going to behave, especially by displaying a lot of emotions. Those emotions are not meant to be taken absolutely, just like how we don't take them absolutely in the case of Bhagavan. Now, what do I mean by absolutely? Am I saying that Bhagavan shows fake emotions? No. Bhagavan, when he sees somebody suffering, he rushes to help. He himself displays sadness. We can see this quality in Rama. We can see this quality in Krishna. These are the best examples that we have. When he sees a devotee suffering, he himself behaves as though he is suffering. But does Bhagavan really suffer? Can he even suffer? Does he have the ability to suffer? He does not have the ability to suffer. Oh, but you said Bhagavan has all sorts of abilities. He is capable completely to do anything he likes. How can such a Bhagavan then lack the ability to feel sad, lack the ability to feel sorrow? Let us say some atheists are asking this question. You are saying there is a supreme being. You are defining the supreme being as one who is all capable. Is he capable of feeling sad? If he feels sad, it means that there is something that he wants which is not happening, which means he is not all powerful. Or if he is all powerful and is still sad, it means he is not intelligent enough to use his powers. If you say he does not feel sad, it means that he does not have all the abilities, and therefore Bhagavan can once again be questioned. Do you understand this? This is a question that may be presented about Bhagavan himself. Why are we discussing this? We are discussing it to understand how Ananda is something that remains in Bhagavan at all points of time, and also, therefore, how Ananda exists eternally even in Nityasuris, and therefore extending it to Bhagavad Ramanuja, who was an incarnation of the foremost of Nitya Suris. So, what we are seeing here is Bhagavan, when we call him as all capable, we do not imply that he is capable of doing evil. By definition, Bhagavan cannot do anything evil. We do not imply that he can feel sadness. Bhagavan, by definition, cannot feel sadness. This is the reason why Bhagavad Ramanuja is again and again and again going to refer to Bhagavan as the storehouse of infinite groups of auspicious qualities. Note how he is using the word auspicious. Bhagavan has auspicious qualities. What about inauspicious qualities like sadness? Oh, that Bhagavan is Nikhilaheya Pratyanika. He repels every inauspicious quality. As Bhagavan repels every inauspicious quality, by definition, he cannot feel sad. It is not going against the definition of Bhagavan. So, Vishishtadvaita does not say Bhagavan is all capable. Vishishtadvaita says Bhagavan is all auspicious and he is auspiciously all capable. He is capable of everything. Everything that he does is auspicious. Everything that he does is positive. He does not do anything wrong. He does not do anything evil. He never gets into any of that. Therefore, he does not feel kama, krodha, mada, matsarya, lobha, moha, dukkha. He does not feel that. As it is said in Ramayana, shoko nashayate dhairyam, shoko nashayate shrutam, shoko nashayate sarvam, nasti shoka samo ripuhu. Shokaha, referring to sadness, depression. Dasharatha died out of that depression. Because that sadness, it can destroy courage, it can destroy reason, it can destroy everything. There is no enemy like sadness. But Bhagavan does not have that shoka. He does not have it at all. Yet, Bhagavan would display it. Rama behaves like he is sad once in a while. Like, for example, when Sita gets kidnapped by Ravana. Likewise, we see that Bhagavan gets other qualities. But when we say he gets other qualities, we do not imply that he really has them. He pretends to have them. Why? Why should Rama, the perfect being, pretend to feel sad? It is because Bhagavan is already pretending to be just a human. We should understand that in Rama Avatara, Bhagavan was pretending to be an ordinary human. Therefore, he had to show emotions like an ordinary human. He had to show limitations like an ordinary human. We have discussed this before. When we said Samudraiva Gambhirye, Govindaraja says, just like how the ocean hides very, very great jewels and pearls and so on, in that way, Bhagavan hid his auspicious qualities when he came as Rama. So, hiding certain auspicious qualities is already something that he has done. He is behaving like a human. That is the reason why he is also showing sadness. Because when we feel sad and when somebody feels sorry for us, that is when we would be able to relate. When I am feeling sad and depressed, and Bhagavan comes and laughs, He is eternally happy. How will I feel? I am suffering so much, but he is so happy. He is not considerate at all. He is not feeling sorry for me. In reality, Bhagavan really feels sorry for us. He does not miss a single opportunity to help us. The only reason why we still suffer is our own karma. When he finds the slightest gap to help us, he does the best out of it. He is waiting to give us the very best results. But we, due to our own karma, prevent ourselves from receiving his grace. So, Bhagavan does not have inauspicious qualities by definition. In the same way, Nityasuris will not have inauspicious qualities by definition. Therefore, we should not think that Bhagavad Ramanuja was a person who, even after taking sannyasa, was so attached to this world that he would cry and so on. It is not like that. Bhagavan himself would cry. In Ramayana, Bhagavan cries. In Mahabharata, Bhagavan cries. Bhagavan does that. So, this is to be understood by us as part of Leela. They are doing it for our sake. Bhagavad Ramanuja lived in human form with 2 hands and 2 feet. But in reality, he is Adishesha. Does Adishesha have 2 hands and 2 feet? In the form of Adishesha, in the form of snake. As a Nityasuri, he can take infinite forms. He can have a form with 2 hands and 2 feet. He can have a form with 4 hands and 2 feet. He can have infinite number of heads also. But in general, we refer to him as the 1,000-headed Adishesha, the 1,000-headed serpent. So, we should understand that it is not just about the birth that we are discussing divinity here, but also about the entire life of Bhagavad Ramanuja. So, just like how Bhagavan would behave like an ordinary human in Ramayana, Ramanuja, that is Lakshmana of Ramayana, he also behaves like an ordinary human. He behaved that way in Ramayana. He will behave that way here in Kali Yuga as Bhagavad Ramanuja as well, which is what we are going to see. Of course, when we look at his life, it is automatically supposed to imply that we are talking about his contributions. But there are certain other details as well that we need to go through. So, Bhagavad Ramanuja was born to a couple. His father was Keshava Somayaji. His mother, we address her as Bhumi Piratti in Tamil. For a long time, they did not have any child. Then, once they went to Tiruvallikeni, which in English they call as Triplicane. There is a famous temple of Bhagavan called Parthasarathi temple. So they went to that Parthasarathi temple and performed Putra Kameshti. Just like how Dasharatha had performed in Treta Yuga. Keshava Somayaji, remember Somayaji is not just a surname. He is a person who has earned it as a title by performing the yaga. So they performed Putra Kameshti, and by performing that in the month of Chitra, under the Adra Nakshatra, which we call as Tiruadirai in Tamil, on an auspicious day, Bhagavad Ramanuja was born. If we go by our modern dating system, he was born in 1017 AD, 1017 AD, and he lived from 1017 till 1137. 120 years he lived. Now, he had an uncle, his mother's older brother. He was called Shri Periya Tirumalai Nambi. Tirumalai Nambi, who is called as Shri Shaila Purna in Sanskrit. He was there in Tirupati, as the name suggests. That is how he got the title as Tirumalai Nambi. He was a person who was consistently performing Kainkarya to Bhagavan at Tirupati. So Tirupati there already had a temple of Vishnu. There are certain people who say it was converted into a Vishnu temple from some other temple. One of the claims is that it used to be a Jain temple that the Aryan Brahmins later converted. And that is untrue. Even before the days of Bhagavad Ramanuja, there was a temple there. As Bhagavad Ramanuja himself would prove during his lifetime, using pramanas from Vedas as well as from multiple Puranas. The scriptures talk about Tirupati. They themselves talk about Tirupati being a holy land for Vishnu, where he is to be worshipped. And furthermore, even in Tamil texts like Silappadigaram, we see mentions of Tirupati and mentions of Vaishnavas worshipping Bhagavan there. So, we have plenty of literature to prove that it was indeed a Vishnu temple only. But let us move on. We are not going to spend too much time on that part. So, Periya Tirumalai Nambi, when he heard that his younger sister has finally given birth to a son, he was so happy. So, immediately he departed and reached their home, and he attended the Namakarana Mahotsava. Namakarana Mahotsava, it is one of the samskaras as per Sanatana Dharma. He attended and he presided over it. What was the name given to him? Parthasarathi is a word that refers to Krishna. Partha refers to Arjuna. Sarathi, the charioteer of Arjuna, was Krishna. Therefore, we call him Parthasarathi. Now, multiple explanations are given for the name Ramanuja. In Valmiki Ramayana itself, we see the word Ramanuja used for Lakshmana. He was an avatara of Lakshmana. Therefore, we are calling him Ramanuja. Nothing wrong there. But if you look at Parthasarathi, that Bhagavan in whose temple Putrakameshti was performed by the parents of Bhagavad Ramanuja, you would realize that Krishna can also be called as Ramanuja. Why? Because Krishna had an older brother called Balarama. Why do we call him Balarama? We are trying to differentiate him from the other Ramas. Parashurama is also a Rama. Parashu literally means axe. Sri Rama is Dasharathi Rama, the son of Dasharatha. And when we say Balarama, we refer to that Rama who was the older brother of Krishna. So Krishna was Balaramanuja, which means Krishna was Ramanuja. As Bhagavan Parthasarathi, that is Krishna, himself was Ramanuja. In his memory, they say the parents named their child as Ramanuja as well. Now, there are a number of samskaras that are supposed to be performed at an early age. So the father, Keshava Somayaji, he performed Annaprashana, Chaula, Aksharabhyasa, Upanayana, all of these at the appropriate periods. And he also started teaching the Vedas. Why do people perform Upanayana? So that they can start learning the Vedas. So he started teaching his son the Vedas, and he realized that his son is not an ordinary person. He is an absolute genius who grasps everything. He grasps more than what is taught. Understanding this, he ensured that Bhagavad Ramanuja takes the next step and gets married. After he got married, he thought we should send him to study from a greater expert. Also, we need to give him exposure to different schools of thought. So, for that reason, for studying the Vedanta Granthas, Vedadhyayana is over. Then what? You enter Vedanta. Understanding the ultimate teaching of the Veda. So, for that, Bhagavad Ramanuja was sent to Kanchipura. There, back then, in those days, Yadava Prakasha was residing. Now, Yadava Prakasha is mentioned in many books to have been an Advaiti. But as I have clarified before, Yadava Prakasha did not follow the Advaita of Shankaracharya. His school was a kind of Bheda, and Yadava Prakasha himself was affiliated more to Vaishnavism. Unfortunately, information that is available outside is very different in this regard. Now, around the same time, Bhagavad Ramanuja had a younger cousin brother, who was born to his mother's younger sister. The cousin's name was Govinda. Govinda was very attached to Bhagavad Ramanuja since childhood. They say that Bhagavad Ramanuja had performed miracles in childhood itself. After one such miracle, Govinda got great attachment towards his older cousin brother, Bhagavad Ramanuja. So Govinda also went to Yadava Prakasha to study. Both of them studied. Now, Yadava Prakasha is teaching. As Yadava Prakasha teaches, he explains a lot of things. He was himself a great scholar, no doubt about it. But here and there, his opinions were inappropriate. So, as Bhagavad Ramanuja started learning, he realized that every now and then, whatever is being taught by Yadava Prakasha is not matching. It does not make sense. So, he started expressing doubts. You cannot go and argue with your guru. You can only ask doubts because you are there as a student, because you acknowledge that you don't have the knowledge. And you have the other person as guru because he is supposed to be an expert at the field. So it would be wrong for a Shishya to automatically assume that he is completely correct and go and argue with the guru. The Shishya should ask with humility and present it as a doubt. It should be done in a very polite way. And Bhagavad Ramanuja did exactly that. This is something that we should learn about how the student should behave in front of the guru. Not only us, we should also teach our children. Of course, a question might be asked. Yadava Prakasha was at the end of the day a great scholar. Although he was wrong here and there, he was also a great scholar. He had also won a lot of debates. He had Shishyas even in North India. But what about the teachers of today? Are the teachers of today capable enough to deserve that amount of respect? We would say that whether or not the teachers are capable, at least because they are having that position, you need to respect them. But the word teacher and guru are different from each other. Guru is non-translatable. Teacher simply means one who teaches. What is the big deal? An upadhyaya or an adhyapaka is simply going to teach for the sake of money. Guru is someone different. People might come and argue that way. We don't have to worry about such things. No matter which topic you are learning, you need to learn it with humility. Have humility towards the subject and also towards the teacher, assuming the teacher is really teaching something new to you. If you feel that teacher is not qualified, then it is your fault for remaining in that school. If you learn from unqualified teachers, it is your fault for staying in such a school where unqualified teachers are teaching. No, that should be kept in mind. So, today, in today's lecture, I'm explaining in short. Tomorrow, maybe I would explain in greater detail. So, eventually, Adava Prakasha grew extremely jealous, and as he was visiting Kashi along with his Shishyas, he decided to approve a plan to murder Bhagavad Ramanuja on the way. Govinda found out about it and informed Bhagavad Ramanuja. He told Bhagavad Ramanuja to escape from the place. And likewise, Bhagavad Ramanuja also escaped at an opportune time. But after a while, Yadava Prakasha realized that his Shishya is missing. He thought, okay, fine, we wanted to have him dead. But now, when we look at it, he has left us in the group here. This is a wild forest, so far away from Tamil Nadu. This is nowhere close to Kanchi. So, we have no need to worry. He will anyway get lost in the forest. Maybe some wild animals will eat him. Why should we worry? Let us carry on. In that way, Yadava Prakasha decided not to search for Bhagavad Ramanuja. He carried on and went to Kashi. Now, what happens is Govinda was very sad because he kept worrying about his cousin. Yadava Prakasha consoled Govinda. But as he consoled him, he also understood that this boy has too much affinity for Bhagavad Ramanuja. Something has to be done about it. In the meantime, Bhagavad Ramanuja, he did not know the way back. He was lost in the forest. As a youngster lost in the forest, he kept roaming here and there, trying to find a way. At that time, he saw a hunter couple. They came in front of him and they said, "Don't worry, we can guide you." So they walked along with him through the night so that he does not feel tired. Then, in early morning, that female hunter, she said, "I am feeling very tired. I cannot walk anymore. Could you kindly look around for some water? This place anyway seems safe, so you don't have to worry about animals, wild animals. But I'm very tired and I cannot walk any further. So could you please find some water for me? Could you fetch some water for me?" Bhagavad Ramanuja searched for water. He found a well and he decided to take water from it and take it back to her. But by the time he returned, he realized that those two husband and wife hunters, they are no longer there. And he searched, he could not find them. By this time, the sun rose. When the sun rose, Bhagavad Ramanuja looked around because now the sky is bright. He could see the temple Gopura of Kanchipuram. And he could also see the Vimana. They say that way. When he saw the temple Gopura, he realized that this place is Kanchipuram because this is the place from which we left. A travel that should have taken several days was completed in a single night. It is impossible. The couple, hunter couple, they also did not seem ordinary. They were divine. Then Bhagavad Ramanuja thought for a while and finally understood that this couple is none other than Bhagavan himself and his divine consort. So, understanding them to be Sriman Narayana and his divine consort, Sri Devi itself, Sri Mahalakshmi herself, Bhagavad Ramanuja started crying out of devotion. Bhagavan himself has come to help me. Then, facing the temple, he performed namaskara and then he proceeded towards Kanchipuram. Once he reached Kanchipuram, there is some message in the chat section. Okay. Once he reached Kanchipuram, he decided to perform seva to Bhagavan at the temple. And he saw there another person already performing a lot of seva. Who was that? Tirukachi Nambi, Kanchipurna. So Tirukachi Nambigal, who is referred to as Kanchi Purna in Sanskrit. Bhagavad Ramanuja approached him and he said, I see that you are performing a lot of seva to Bhagavan. Please give me also an opportunity to perform some seva. Tirukachi Nambi. Remember, Kachi is another word for Kanchi. So in Tamil we say Tirukachi Nambigal. In Sanskrit it simply means Shri Kanchi Purna. So Kanchi Purna Swami, he prayed to Bhagavan and he said, I will do one thing. I will ask Bhagavan what to give you, what work to give you, and I will revert to you tomorrow. Now, this was a speciality of Tirukachi Nambigal, that he had the ability to directly interact with Bhagavan. He had the ability to directly interact with Bhagavan. He would go towards the Vigraha inside the temple and he would speak to it, and that Vigraha would respond to him. He was a very great saint. But unlike Yadava Prakasha, who would show off his knowledge and travel the world to debate and everything, this saint remained in the temple and humbly performed service to Bhagavan. In spite of having had interacted multiple times with Bhagavan himself. That night, Bhagavad Ramanuja did not sleep. He was thinking about what happened the previous night. Bhagavan himself accompanied me. I was so fortunate that Bhagavan himself accompanied me till Kanchipuram. But now, I am also getting the chance to do daily seva to Bhagavan at Kanchipuram itself. I am truly blessed by Bhagavan. What is his level of compassion? It is not describable in words. So thinking in this way about Bhagavan, Bhagavad Ramanuja did not sleep that night. The next day, in the early morning itself, he got ready very quickly and went to Sri Kanchi Purna. And he waited for Sri Kanchi Purna to appear there, knowing that he will come there. So, likewise, in Brahma Muhurta, the door opened and Sri Kanchi Purna came out to perform Anushtana. When he came out, he immediately saw Bhagavad Ramanuja there, waiting. So he asked, why are you here at such an early time? And Bhagavad Ramanuja said, you said you would ask Bhagavan what work to give me. And you said you would give that work to me today. You would assign it to me today. I was very much interested. Therefore, I am here. Did you go and ask him? What did he say? Please tell me. So, remember, in English, we are using the word I. However, in Tamil, the word that is used is adiyan, referring to the self as a humble one. Dasa, dasoham, aham dasaha. I am a dasa of Bhagavan and of Bhagavatas. Therefore, I should not address myself with words like I, which will give me pride. I would rather address myself as dasa. So, about this servant, did you go and tell Bhagavan? Did you ask him what work needs to be given? What did he tell? Please tell. This servant is very interested in knowing. So Sri Kanchipurna replied, saying, yes, I prayed to Bhagavan. And he said that he would like you to bring water from that well from which you had taken earlier. Every day you bring water from that well and use that for Bhagavan here in this temple. Perform this Tirtha Kainkarya. In this way, Tirukachinambi replied. So, Bhagavad Ramanuja thought Devi herself had asked for water. I was unable to give her water at that time, and I felt bad that they have disappeared. But now, Bhagavan has given us the task of bringing water every single day. I felt bad that I could not give water to the Devi, that she has disappeared. But now I am getting the opportunity to bring water to Bhagavan every single day. So he was so happy. And he was extremely thankful to Tirukachinambi. And from that day onwards, he started performing that Tirtha Kainkarya to Bhagavan. Till today, people are using the same well. The same practice is followed even today there, 1,000 years later, because it was a practice started by him. Swami Deshika describes this incident. He says, the cloud pulls water from the earth. After pulling water from the earth from one region, the cloud becomes dark. It becomes heavy with a lot of water. Then what does it do? It travels and then sheds rain. It spreads that water all over. In the same way, this Bhagavan at Kanchipuram, he received water that was offered by Bhagavad Ramanuja. And then, like the dark cloud, this Bhagavan, what did he do? He decided to shower his rain of blessings to all the devotees. And he is doing that even today. So this is said by Swami Deshika in Yatiraja Saptati. We had seen a few shlokas of Yatiraja Saptati before. Let us see this particular shloka as well. This is supposed to be shloka number 62. वन्दे तं यमिनां धुरन्धरमहं आनन्दकाराद्रुहा पन्थानं परिपन्थिनां निजदृशारुन्धानमिन्धानया दत्तं येन दया सुधाम्बुनिधिना पीत्वा विशुद्धं पयः कालेन करिशैलकृष्णजलदः काङ्क्षाधिकं वर्षति. This is the shloka. So, what does Swami Deshika say? He says, I pay my respect to that great Bhagavad Ramanuja. he has such bright eyes which can remove the darkness of the misinterpreters of Vedas. This Bhagavad Ramanuja, himself an ocean of compassion, he offered water long back to Bhagavan at Kanchipuram. He is called Varadaraja. Varadaraja means the king of those who grants wishes. Varan dadati iti varadaha. The giver of boons is called Varada. Varadaraja is the king among all those who grant wishes. An ordinary man can get his wish fulfilled by his father or by his superior at work or by the king or minister, something like that. But there is one person who can grant wishes and who can grant boons in a much superior way than everybody else. That person is Bhagavan. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Varadaraja. So, to that Varadaraja, this ocean of compassion, Bhagavad Ramanuja, offered water to Lord Varadaraja and his divine consort. And what did they do? Bhagavan and Bhagavati, they accompanied him from the forest far away till Kanchipuram. Because of what Bhagavad Ramanuja did, today Lord Varadaraja is himself standing as a dark cloud that showers the rain of compassion and the rain of blessings on all of us. In this way, Swami Deshika has explained this incident. So Bhagavad Ramanuja kept performing this. At that time, Yadava Prakasha had visited Kashi. Correct? What did Yadava Prakasha do there? Yadava Prakasha decided that he should change Govinda. He should prevent Govinda from being so close to Bhagavad Ramanuja. So what did Yadava Prakasha do? Yadava Prakasha thought, I cannot make him to hate his own cousin brother. He has loved him since birth and has literally helped him to escape from me as well. But Govinda also has a lot of Guru Bhakti. Therefore, I should exploit his Guru Bhakti. How did Yadava Prakasha do that? One fine day, he said, while taking a dip in Ganga, one fine day he said, look, here is a Shivalinga. Lord Shiva himself has blessed me with such a great disciple, Govinda. Lord Shiva has appeared in the form of this Shivalinga and wants to be worshipped by my disciple Govinda. Speaking in this way, he granted the Shivalinga to Govinda, told him, you keep performing puja to Shiva, you become an ascetic. What will happen when Govinda becomes an ascetic and starts performing Shiva puja? He will not return. If he does not return, he will not be able to help Bhagavad Ramanuja in any way. What a kind of a plan. So, after doing this, eventually, Yadava Prakasha returned to Kanchi. When he returned to Kanchi, he was totally shocked because he saw Bhagavad Ramanuja alive, healthy, and also happily performing seva to Bhagavan every day. He did not know what to do. He inquired and he heard the story of what had happened to him. Then he thought, maybe he has the blessings of Bhagavan. Let us do one thing, let us go and meet him. So Yadava Prakasha went to meet Bhagavad Ramanuja. He congratulated him, saying, "Oh, I heard you got the blessings of Bhagavan. That's a really great thing. Now that I am back at Kanchipuram, I had unfortunately lost you. We were traveling. On the way, we had lost you. We tried looking for you but could not find you, unfortunately. But now that I see you here in Kanchipuram, I am so happy. I don't have words to express my happiness. So please resume your studies under me. Come back to me." In this way, Yadava Prakasha told Bhagavad Ramanuja. And like a good student, Bhagavad Ramanuja also started resuming his studies. What happened afterwards, we will see in the next class. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. Kainkarya means seva, service. Kainkarya means seva. Okay. Imagine Govinda is taking bath in the Ganga. He is dipping himself 3 times as per the procedure. As he is getting up, suddenly he finds a Shivalinga in his hand. Yadava Prakasha has placed it. And he says, Bhagavan himself, Lord Shiva himself has come to Govinda. My Shishya is so blessed. I am also so blessed. Lord Shiva wants to be worshipped by Govinda. Therefore, O Govinda, from now on perform Kainkarya to Lord Shiva. Forget everything else. In this manner, he made Govinda into a Shaiva and got him disassociated. Yes, Yadava Prakasha was not a good person at that time. Eventually, he will become good. Eventually, he will realize his mistakes. We will see that part. See, there is a problem with certain scholars. Yadava Prakasha was such a scholar that he had created his own school of philosophy. He had created his own school of philosophy. And he did not like to be questioned. There are some people who do not know much, but if you question them, they will immediately get triggered. I will tell you something that happened today afternoon. There was one lady saying that historically, because of our Sanatana Dharma's inherent caste system, there has been a lot of oppression, especially in terms of education, and that A large number of communities never had access to education. I asked her one question. Can you prove your statement? She asked, why should I prove? Why are you picking on me? How could you ask me to prove? This is inappropriate. You should not do this. You did not ask questions to other people. Why are you asking me to prove? Why are you picking on me? Then another person came. He said, are you picking on her because she is a woman? This literally happened today afternoon. This is the way in which, at certain points of time, people would team up. They say there were Shishyas of Yadava Prakasha who were jealous of Bhagavad Ramanuja. Because he was so bright, he would grasp everything very quickly. Initially, he used to be the favorite of Yadava Prakasha. But as he proved to be far more knowledgeable than Yadava Prakasha, not only certain other students, but also Yadava Prakasha himself started getting a problem. How can we accept such a person? He is questioning me. I am saying something, he should listen and accept. If he cannot listen and accept, the problem is definitely with him. Somehow or the other, I will get rid of him. This is how people think. This is how they thought 1,000 years ago. Yadava Prakasha lived 1,000 years ago. They had decided to get rid of Bhagavad Ramanuja. He escaped. And Bhagavan was there to assist him. We will see as the story proceeds how Bhagavan was there at every point of his life, helping him, showing him the way, showing divine guidance. So we'll conclude here. Thank you so much for attending. श्रीवत्सवं सकलश्रोतदिकोस्तुभस्य शिवासराघुसपुरोस्तनयं ततश्च विद्यावाप्यद्भक्तमलब्धां कुवैस्तारदिगुं करुणाकराख्यं कवितार्क्यसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः प्रणामं लक्ष्मणमुनिः प्रतिगृह्णातु मामकं प्रसादयति यत्सूक्तिस्वाधीनपतिकां श्रुते.
Thank you very much, Gurudev. Jai Shri Ram.
जय श्री राम.